Good doggies. Good doggies. Oh. Hi, I'm Xena Awesome, and I wanted to make this video because this is Java. These are her two puppies. This is Zesty and this is Bugsy. Bugsy was from her first litter and Zesty was from her second litter. And I had found a home for Zesty, but we always told people that if they couldn't keep a dog for any reason, to go ahead and bring him back. So Zesty was a be-back dog. And then not only that, it ended up when they brought him back, he was 9 months old and he had an injured hip. And so he had to have surgery where they cut the head of the femur off. And so he's actually missing one of his hip joints. Dogs are able to develop cartilage that works as the hip joint. But Java, like I said, Java's one of the mommy dogs. And as I've said before, that Honey and her fight because Java's dying. And right now, she definitely seems to be doing a bit worse. So I wanted to make sure I had an opportunity to get a nice video with her and her two babies. Yeah. And what she has is it's a common Chihuahua / small breed dog problem. She has a collapsing trachea. Trachea is the windpipe. And if you think of the windpipe kind of like a slinky, it has cartilage that holds it open like a slinky. And if the cartilage gets weak, it just flops down like how you can push a slinky down and it can lay flat. And her x-ray, actually, she's lived a lot longer than I expected, because I had an x-ray done of her in 2018 and it showed me that a large section of her trachea was collapsing. And so some dogs it's only a small area, so maybe the rest of the trachea can kind of hold it up and keep it from being a catastrophic failure. Piggy, quiet. But with her, when it finally collapses, it's going to be, she's going to die. Aren't you, baby? Yeah, unfortunately. Bugsy's sister died year before last of a collapsed trachea. So I've already seen it in one of her puppies. That's why I got her the x-ray to see if she had the problem. And she does. And although she kind of looks normal maybe to you all, she's acting very strange. She's, I think she's having problems breathing. She's learned how to adapt to it really well, but she's being a lot more distant, not only with me, but with the other dogs. Because as you remember that I have a pack of dogs, and so when you have a group of dogs like I do, pack mentality can set in, and she's making sure that she tells the other dogs to stay away from her, or it could lead into them wanting to attack her and kill her, just like Honey wants to. And I say it that way. I mean, normally, obviously, they're not quite that vicious, but you know, I don't need to have her getting into a fight. And I'm just really, really worried about her. She's just acting just totally wrong. Yeah. So I just wanted a really nice video of her. Yeah, she's been a sweetie. And she was an awesome mommy dog. And then I told you the story of how I got her, that she's a rescue from somebody that didn't want her. And that she's named Coffee in memorial, Java in memorial of Coffee, who was another rescue I had that died when he went under a fence and got his collar caught and twirled and choked himself. I'd had him for about a year, and he looked just like her. He did. He looked just like her. That's right. Yes, you've been a wonderful dog. You've been a wonderful dog. And that's one of the hard things is, of course, you know, dogs don't live as long as people. So I've had a lot of my dogs have died. I have a little graveyard out here. I have a graveyard out here with dogs, cats, and my birds. Yeah, that's right. You good girl. You good girl. You are a good girl. You are a good girl. Yeah. And Bugsy, this one here, is the one that keeps having the seizures I talk about. And Zesty is the one that's super sensitive. He's the one that will let other dogs take his food. He also gets traumatized really easy. And when something, I know it sounds strange when I talk about a dog being traumatized, but I can see in his sleeping patterns and the way he behaves sometimes that he's having nightmares. So I know he actually gets a little PTSD sometimes. And I'm sure he really misses Mrs. Van Dar. So, yeah, ain't that right? Ain't that right? And he's the one that gets, probably has the most, well, I say that, separation anxiety, but you can hear Miss Piggy there in the background. She doesn't like that I locked her up. And Honey doesn't like me to be separated from her either. So, but he actually doesn't have just short-term distress. He'll actually have long-term distress. You know, some dogs, they complain and bark, but once they're back together, they kind of forget. Yeah, I have a video of one time when I went out to the van just to get something that he ran into the cage in the van, and he's like, "I'm ready to go, Ma. Don't leave without me." And he didn't want to come out of the cage because he was ready to go with Mom. Weren't you? Yeah. Yeah, you're such a good boy. Such a good boy. And you're such a good girl. You are. You're such a good girl. You Mama's good girl. Mama's good girl. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to miss you so much when you're gone. There we go. Baby's taking care of Mama. Yeah, baby's taking care of Mama, and then Mama taking care of babies. Yeah. Yeah, well, good girl. Well, good girl. Oh, we're going to play a little? We're going to play a little? Huh? Huh? Oh, oh, oh. She says, yeah, Mom. She says, you're making me feel good, Mom. You're making me feel good. I'll play a little. I'll play a little. I'll play a little. I will. That's enough. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. You're okay. You are. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine, baby. Yes. Oh, yes, I know. I know. So this video is probably more for me than for you. By you, I mean the viewer. Not for you, because you don't care about videos, do you? Yeah, that's right. Oh, what a good girl. What a good girl. I think that barking was a little rough on her, but she seemed to enjoy it. Good girl. Good girl. Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes, Mama loves you. Mama's going to miss you so much. Yeah, that's enough. That's enough. I don't want you to tire yourself out. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Yes, I don't know if you noticed, it's the way she was panting. It's not that hot in here. None of the other dogs are panting. She's panting because she's having a hard time breathing. And then she also had her tongue hanging out a lot more than you would expect. And then she was, again, you probably can't see it in the video, but she was agitated. She wasn't comfortable in the way she was sitting. See, that's at least the thing when she can go lay down by herself. She can get her body into just the right position to be able to breathe the easiest. And the way she was on my lap, she wasn't very comfortable. So, thank you very much. Have an awesome day.